guys. I've been going for a minute, but I'm back with the jump off. So sorry that I have missed so much of this great show with you guys, because this has been a good season. I have been watching. I just have not had the time to sit down and film and edit. That's it. You know what I mean? Once I get this channel to a place when I can like outsource the editing, we're good. But until then, I gotta like jump in when I can because, you know, my other job is taking precedence. So if you're new here, just know the only reason why I may not be here is if I'm sick or if I'm booked and busy. That is the only thing. I love you guys. I enjoy the show and I hate missing episodes with you guys. But thank you so much for understanding. Thank you so much for checking in on me on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. I love it. I really, really do. I do not mind it because I am like the only person in my house that watches this show and in my community pretty much. So when you guys reach out to me about stuff, I love it because at least I can, you know, dialogue about this show with people, with fans, you know what I mean? So anyway, that is the only reason why I missed. I'm so sorry. Work has just been crazy. But things are slowing down a bit. And I say that now, but as soon as I say it, something changes. But things have slowed down a bit. So that's why I've had some time to watch the shows, take some notes, and come here to get into it with you guys. Because I missed a few episodes with you guys, I'm going to talk about this episode and the Men Tell All because those were the juiciest ones. Luke! Oh my gosh! He learned nothing. Also, in the beginning of this review, I'm going to do a little bit of talking about a few episodes that I missed prior, but I'm just going to pull some important things or some funny things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. It'll be really quick and then we'll get into this review. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's talk about crazy freaking Luke. Like, I don't know what is going on with the Bachelorette because I feel like there's a stalker theme. You know, The Bachelor too. There's this weird stalker theme with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I don't know why we're going this way. Maybe it's the contestants they're picking. Maybe it's the storyline that they're carving out. But this whole situation with Luke was really reminiscent to me with Becca in her season and how they let her crazed ex-boyfriend come back and try to woo her heart. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember her face when she opened that door and she saw that guy? That girl was terrified. And this is the same thing happening with Luke because even in, I believe, episode 6, he was talking about moving mountains. She was trying to get rid of him, but then he like worked his way into manipulating her mind, into coming back. She's crying and she's confused and she doesn't understand what is going on with her and Luke, why she wants him, but nobody else likes him. And I'm like, girl, this is abuse. It just did not seem like it was, this storyline was healthy. And I think, and we'll talk about it at the Men Tell All, I think they tried to put a spin on it at the end to make it look like, you know, an example of what kind of guy to not pick, an example of an abusive guy or a manipulative guy or a misogynistic guy. This is the kind of guy to stay away from. I get that maybe eventually this is what this storyline turned into, but watching it, I just didn't feel right that this woman had to go through this with this guy. Because I honestly don't believe that Hannah kept Luke because it was something about him that she loved and she was falling in love with him. I think she was being convinced to keep him because, guys, let's be real, he was interesting TV. He really, really was. It's sad to say, but it was just like, this was a train wreck that you could not look away from. And let's also talk about how in episodes 6, 7, and 8, this dude was gaslighting her the entire time. And I felt like she wanted to address it, right? I just felt like she couldn't because I just don't want to believe that she really saw something in Luke after this. You know what I mean? Like, I get she only has a certain amount of time to be with these guys, but I'm really starting to feel like she was kind of being manipulated or, you know, not forced, but encouraged to keep somebody that was mentally abusive to not just Hannah, all the guys in the house. Like, they were sick of this dude because of the games that he was playing. I honestly don't think that Luke believes that he's playing games. I think that he honestly believes that this is how the Lord wants him to be. I really think that whatever teaching this man is under, they have warped his mind to where he can no longer even communicate outside of this biblical teaching. His whole conversation resides around this teaching, how he leads out. And there were times, even when I, as a believer, tried to find some kind of redeeming quality in Luke. Sad to say, there isn't one. There really, really isn't. The guy is just awful. He's awful. And I just don't want to believe that Hannah couldn't see this. I just don't want to believe it, because I feel like women, we know. Even at 23, we know when a dude is garbage. Age comes into a factor with fixing the dude. Because like from 23 to a good 28, you just think that you can fix this guy. You think that you can work it out. You think that there's a couple of issues, but you can fix those issues, because that's what women do. 30s and up, you're not fixing nobody. If he don't come out the package ready for what you got going on, moving on to the next. The only conclusion that I can come up with is that she's trying to continue to see some good in this guy and fix this guy. He's so awful, Hannah. How did you not see this? Can we talk about that Luke and Garrett confrontation? That was the softest confrontation I ever in my life. I was like, Garrett, who the hell you think you're intimidating? With the whole salami, like, what were they doing? It was so corny. It went on for like 5 minutes, and I was just like, we really did not need to see this. Neither guy left that situation looking tough. They both looked corny, and it was a whole thing about baloney, and I was just like, we could have left this one on the cutting room floor. And that Viking theme music in the background, I was just like, y'all trying to make this something it is not. I love this cheesy show. With everything that's going on, this cornball show is just what the doctor ordered. Last thing I want to talk about before we move on to this episode. Mike, guys, I told you he wasn't making it to hometowns. I told you, listen, we gotta be real here. Alabama Hannah can't bring Mike home. You know what I mean? I love that we want to live in this utopia where everybody is just one love. You can love whoever, and it could, you know, and that's how it'll work. And I think The Bachelor stays away from race because they don't know how to talk about it, to be quite honest with you. Rachel went through it. So I get why they stay away from it, but I never thought for 1 second that Mike was making it to hometowns. For Hannah, it just did not seem believable to me. And what really hurt me was that I felt at that dinner with him, I felt like she knew, you know what I mean? She knew, like, for her life, for her community, this was not going to work. Because I have never seen Hannah cry like that for any other guy. Even for Luke. She's cried over Luke, but it's been such confusion and frustration. With Mike, I just felt like the girl's heart was breaking. And it also could be the fact that there was nothing there and she wanted it to work with him because he was such a good guy. That may be a factor. It really looked to me like Hannah was falling apart, like breaking down crying because she either could not see a future with Mike or could not make a future with Mike. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's get into this episode. The hometowns, baby. Why am I doing it? Let me say this about Hannah. I love her. In my experience of The Bachelorette, she is my number 2. I love Rachel. I will always ride for Rachel. Hannah's season was interesting for different reasons for me. I love Rachel's season. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a lot of roller coasters. Like, we got into it. You know what I mean? Like, it was intense for all of us. I love that season. This season is really good as well for like different reasons. The men are really interesting. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of cheese and cornball factor, but it's still intriguing, right? My only issue with Hannah is that if this Luke situation is real, for the men, I would leave. If I was one of the guys that she was considering to be her husband, I would leave. Because what it looks like to me is that the men are potentially looking at a partner who has poor judgment. Poor judgment. Looking at the men, I'm like, you guys are so frustrated over the fact that she continues to keep Luke, right? If she can't see that this man is ridiculously flawed in so many ways, so toxic, so unhealthy, you guys are sitting here frustrated every day. This dude is making you guys sick in the house. He is an ulcer. He is a sickness. He is poisoning the house and she can't see it. And I'm thinking, if I was one of the guys, I wouldn't want a partner like that because her judgment is just so off. Her discernment is gone. Let me tell you something, ma'am. You need to get back to Bible camp, or you need to go to a deliverance service or go to a deliverance ministry or go through a deliverance camp, something, because your discernment is off, ma'am. How can you not see that this man is toxic? It don't even have to be everybody telling you. The fact that when he comes in the room, he sucks the energy out. Like, you're still attracted to this? I couldn't be with a partner like that. And it could be her age. It could be her naivete, the fact that she probably grew up very sheltered. It could be that as well, because one thing I do know, I grew up in the Philadelphia inner city, right? But I also grew up in church. So that kept me in a bubble that was burst when I moved to New York City. Let me tell you something. New York, if you're a church kid, New York is not the first place for you to live. Start with Montana, you know what I mean? Then work your way to New York. New York City snatched my little 17-year-old edges. I was not ready. But that is my only issue with Hannah. I think she's a great bachelorette. Her discernment is basura. Pilot Peter's hometown, money. This dude has money. I don't know if his family has money or how much are pilots making, because I need to start looking. I need to start looking at pilots. I keep on looking at these writers and directors. I need to look at a pilot, okay? Because he got money. He picks her up in a Lexus, charts a private classic plane to drop her off at his parents, or in the location of where his parents live, to meet his parents for dinner. His parents, beautiful home. I love the parents. Pilot Peter's parents, let me tell you something. As a single woman, meeting a family like this, you're just like, you know what? I want this to work. You know what I mean? Because the mother, I was just like, who would want a mother-in-law like that? Pilot Peter's mother was amazing. His father was amazing. I love this little brother. It was a good family. You know what? He might be the bachelor. Because I don't think she's picking him. I think she likes Peter. I just don't think that she is sexually attracted to him. I think she's sexually attracted to Megamind. I forgot his name. Garrett. It is what it is. And Paul Newman 2.0, Tyler. And I think where she's at right now, she says she's looking for a husband, but Hannah, I think you looking for some bump and grind, you know what I mean? And just a fine guy to have on your arm while you do all the press and promotion that this show requires after it wraps. I think she's looking for a good time. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what your 20s are for, okay? And sometimes your 30s. But I just don't think she's looking for a husband. At least not right now. She can't be. Real talk, because she got to work on her discernment. She doesn't know how to pick a partner just yet. So I'm fine with her zipping it and doing it with Megamind or Paul Newman 2.0. But I don't want you to tank Pilot Peter. Let him be the bachelor, because he is just, how can you not pick him? He's a really good candidate. Him or Mike, those are my bachelor picks. But I don't think Mike is going to be the bachelor because he's in paradise. So that pick is burned. So I think it's probably going to be Pilot Peter. And I'm okay with that. Because think about it. He's cute, multicultural. I knew something was up in that DNA. Because he was always like a little tan all the time. You know what I mean? Like even in the dark, he was tan. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on with that? Pilot Peter got melanin. He's Cubano. You know what I mean? So he's multiracial, multicultural. They was dropping a little Spanish. The family is fun and quirky. Squeaky clean enough for ABC to invest in them. The mother cries at the drop of a dime. The dad loves him. Pilot Peter is a charitable guy. He's fun. He's sweet. He's kind. He's endearing. He looks like somebody who would be ready for marriage. I think he's a good bachelor pick, because I don't think that Hannah is going to pick him. He's a great husband, Hannah. I don't think she's going to pick him. So now we get to Tyler's hometown. The ghetto. Ain't no way this is his family's home. Ain't no way. I looked at all them people in that living room. I was like, nope. They ain't got no money like this to be living in this home. And then we get this moment where Tyler tells her, Hannah, when they're like surfing or whatever. Is it surfing? What were they doing? They were doing something on the boat. And he showed her his little shack. Ain't nothing wrong with living in a shack. I've lived in worse, okay? His little shack on the bayou. Wait, where is he from? I'm mixing everything. Shack on the water. You know what I mean? That little shack on the water where he showed her where he grew up, and then the house got foreclosed because the dad couldn't afford to pay the mortgage. And all of a sudden we meet his family and it's in this little mansion. I don't think that's where he actually lives. I think that they rented this house so that all the family can get together and meet Hannah. They did the same thing for Rachel. That was just because her dad was like, we are not putting our mansion on TV. And also he's a judge or whatever, so a prosecutor or a judge, and they could not film him. So it was a lot of security going into that. But I think with Tyler, this just was not his home. If that's the case, I would have liked to see where he was from. It would be good TV to really see somebody who has come from humble beginnings to be a viable partner for the Bachelorette. Why not? You know what I mean? But I think this show likes to sell this fairy tale that everybody's doing well financially and, you know, everybody is looking for love. And, you know, the fairy tale doesn't really go with somebody living in low income housing. Sad to say, but it's true. I will say this, although I don't think that Tyler is a good partner for Hannah, I really don't. I loved his family. And in his family, I could see a family that has overcome a lot. You know what I mean? Especially with the dad and the sickness. I love to see Tyler and how he really loved his father and really cared for him. He really is, to me, somebody who was able to get out of the situation, that financial hardship, or probably the neighborhood where he's from. He appears to me to be somebody who was able to get out of the hood and really make a name for himself and was able to bring back some resources for his family, which is why, again, I really wish you would have been able to see the realness of his situation. But it is what it is. I still think it was a good hometown. I still think it showed him and his family in a great light. I still do not think that he is the right pick for Hannah. He's the right pick for her coochie, not for her heart. So now we get to Luke's hometown. Can I tell you, this was everything I thought it was going to be. Everything I thought it was going to be. He opens up talking about he was in the shower and God, I don't even believe this foolishness. God opened up heaven and showed him what heaven was going to look like, and that transformed him into Psycho Jesus. Like, let me tell you something. Ain't no way the Lord chose you, Luke, to show heaven to. And this is how you act? You are telling us that you saw heaven, that God said, Luke, let me show you what heaven looked like. He opened it up, you saw it, and you became this person. Ain't no way. That was the devil. That was the devil. So then we go to Luke's devout compound in the woods. Everything I thought it was going to be. Soon as they get there, they're laying hands on Hannah. And I was like, Hannah, baby, let no man lay hands on you suddenly. First of all of these people who have invested in Luke spiritually, they look like a Facebook comment section. You think I'm going to let them lay hands on me? I was so upset with Hannah. I was just like, here we go. Your discernment, honey. Your discernment is off. Ain't no way I would have let anybody in that room lay hands on me, especially if Luke said, these are the people that made me who I am today. The devil is a liar. Then we meet Luke's family. I'm going to be honest with you. They gave me a Midsummer tease. You know what I mean? Have y'all seen that movie? When we met his family, I was just like, yep, creepy cult. But can we talk about his mother? Gorgeous. Great hair, great skin. How, ma'am? How do you look like that after raising Luke? Because can we tell the truth and shame the devil? After raising somebody like Luke, you have to have shown some kind of like stress on the face. You gotta have bald spots from the hair falling out because this kid has just worn you to bits. But she looks great. Great. Ma'am, you gotta drop your skincare. You know what? No, don't drop nothing, because I don't need this family getting popular. Because if that is what Luke thinks, y'all have invested in him and gave him this ridiculous kind of ideology. So I don't need none of y'all getting popular. But great hair though. Great hair and great skin. How? Probably from eating the souls of real Christians. Let me stop. Midsummer. Oh, okay, so his name is Jed. First of all, I've called him everything but his name. I've called him Garrett and Megamind. How did I forget Jed? Anyway, next hometown is Thick Thigh Jed. We go to Nashville. Yes, that's where he's from. We go to Nashville and we meet his family. Beautiful family. His sister, beautiful. Great hair. Ma'am, you need to get a YouTube channel and start doing like hair stuff, because girl, you got something there. You will get some really good sponsors. Neutrogena, I can see them sponsoring you. Pantene can sponsor you. Get on Instagram if you don't want to do YouTube, because YouTube is a lot. Get on Instagram, do a couple of videos of you washing your hair and straightening and blowing it out or doing some curls or something. You got good hair. You better use it. Use it and become an entrepreneur. His father. Hello, Daddy. Why didn't anybody tell me about his dad? I was watching this episode like, yes, Daddy. Let me tell you something. My mama has raised me right, okay? But if I was in a different situation and had a different mother, I would be a sugar baby. Because working and being an independent woman is a lot of work, okay? The hell with it. I would be a sugar baby. And that, Jed's daddy, my sugar daddy, okay. You know, his mom is cute, but she ain't me. Let me stop. But Jed, your daddy is fine. So, Jed's family, they meet with Hannah and they immediately throw him under the bus. This leads me to believe that Hannah is picking Tyler, because there's no other option. Tyler Peter is the great choice. She's not attracted to him like that, guys. She is not sexually attracted to him. She is attracted to the fact that he is a great guy. He is a great choice for a husband. He would be a great pick for the show. But the attraction that she has for Tyler, you can see it. You can feel it when you're watching them together. And then we have Jed. She has the same sexual attraction to him. You get to Jed and you meet his family and they say all of these negative things about him. Not the fact that he's not a good guy, but the fact that he's not ready for marriage. Like, the mom was just like, oh no. When Hannah was like, do you think he's ready for marriage? She's just like, oh no, because of his career. Sis, Jed's family, we gotta be real. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. He ain't no Shawn Mendes. Let this dude ride the reality TV show train until the wheels fall off. Don't mess with this dude's money. He has a career in reality TV. I have to be real with you. I don't think he has a career in singing. Jed has something. He really, really does. But he keeps on trying to do this Justin Timberlake falsetto thing. It's not working for him. Maybe if he comes down in the lower registry, maybe that will work. But I feel like he has, destroyed his vocal cords at this point, trying to sing soprano when homeboy is probably a good alto or a baritone, So the family is just like, oh no, he's not ready for this because we really need to focus on him becoming a superstar. But he don't have the vocal cords to do all that. He's a reality TV star, and I think they need to invest in that and not take away his chances. But when the mom said no, the sister was like no, everybody was like no, he is not ready for marriage. I was just like, there's no way she's going to pick him, because everybody said no. So how is she going to pick this dude when the whole family said he's not ready? Then you get Pilot Peter, who's a great guy, but she's not attracted to him. And then you get Tyler, who has a great family, who supports him and wants him to win this competition, because let's tell the truth and shame the devil, this is what it is. And then you have Hannah, who has fallen for this dude. I think it's Tyler. He needs to focus on his music. No, he does not. He needs to focus on this reality TV check, because that's the only sure thing. Music, listen, we have to be real with him. Not right now. Until he got to work that out, guys, because this, when he was singing to Hannah, I was like, this is not attractive. He has something. I just think he's singing in the wrong key, something is not working. So we get to the end of this episode. The men are frustrated because Hannah still cannot decide between Jed and Luke. And that really pissed off Jed. Jed is pissed off because he's just like, I really can't believe that she has to decide between me or Luke, and it's a hard decision. Because the guys have been with him. They know the type of guy that Luke is. And for Jed to know that this dude is just horrible. Can we just be real? Just horrible to be around. And to know that somebody that you're interested in can't decide between this horrible dude and you. He has every right to be pissed off. Every right. I would be. So that's it for this episode. I'm about to check out the Men Tell All, and you can look for that review somewhere in here. Or here. Wherever. I'll put it in this video. See you guys in just a few seconds. Bye.